Hello and welcome to mixedtricks.net. On this video I'm going to show how to build this form and to be responsive, but there's something special here. We're not going to have a database in the backend to create all these fields. We're going to create them step by step and make them responsive to actually to the screen. So let's check it first how it works. So if you go to F12, we're going to see how it's in iPad. It looks like, as you see, everything is aligned. If you go to iPhone X, it's gonna show the same aligned items. And even if we are in iPad and we go to landscape mode, also you can see that everything is aligned. Okay, so without losing too much time, let's jump in and build this one. Okay, first thing is let's go to Power Apps and create a new canvas. Okay, and let's click on Apps and create a new canvas. Before we jump to this, make sure that we have enabled for this canvas app the screen orientation that you can find over here on Files, Settings, Screen Size and Orientation, and make sure that you turn off all this because we're gonna need an orientation, automatic orientation, and you apply it and you are good to go. Okay, so first thing first, let's add a new screen. In this case we're gonna need the header main section footer, so let's click on that. A new screen is gonna add it. As you see, the footer and the header and the main screen are there. Okay, so let's jump into the header. Let's give it a nice color, just to make sure that it's there. Okay, and let's add a label and name it responsive form. Great, so let's make this a little bit bigger and let's put it 20, and semi-bold is okay, and let's give it a color. Here it is. Okay, so we're gonna put this in center. No, we're gonna stretch it first, but we need to insert to make it flexible height, width, sorry. And to do that, we have it here right away, and we can put that one centrally by going to here, and we have already centered the label. Great, so let's make the height of this also parent dot height, and that one is now centrally aligned and also is vertically centered. Okay, great. Let's do the same for the footer. We just click there. Let's give it another color, make it nice. I like this color, so you can choose the one you want, and same thing, and footer here, and so on. Just put it again as flexible width, so it will occupy the complete horizontal space. And same thing we did, we go to height to make it responsive to the parent, in this case the footer container. Okay, so let's put it central, and let's make it also 20, and a white color would be okay. It's the C. Great. Okay, so let's start adding the elements on the main screen, or actually the main section, and the first thing to do is we add a label, and we're gonna call this first name. So keep in mind that if we're gonna enter a form here, like from a database or a data source, this form is going to be automatically generated, and you will have the possibility to assign to the form the wrap number. So it's going to put like in 2 3 columns and so on dynamically. But by using this way, you need to actually set how many elements you want to see in each screen. So this is going to be a little bit challenging, but yeah, as soon as we don't have a database in this case, or a source where you can get this the data and the form here, so then you need to create it yourself. So let's jump in. Let's see first. Let's add here another label that we're gonna need it for to check the width of the screen. So instead of text, we're gonna put parent dot size is not visible. Okay, then the other way is app.activeScreen.size. And you can see 4. This means that this is the biggest one, and as soon as we go smaller, that should become 3, 1, and 2. So those are the breakpoint points we're going to use to actually make this dynamic. Okay, so let's jump in. We have, as I said, a label, and after the label we need to insert an input box, and the input box is there. Okay, that came vertically. This means that this is not the way we want it, but we need it horizontally. And if you click on the main section, you're gonna have on the right side the direction. It's vertical, but this is not how we want it. Direction, we want it horizontal, and here it is. Okay, great. Now we have first name, and it's gonna enter the first name. Then we need another label. It's gonna be last name. I'm just choosing some text boxes and labels like random, just to test with you guys. So let's go to the next one. It's going to be also a text input, and the next one is going to be gender. So it's going to be another label. Let's say gender, and this is going to be a drop down. Here it is, and let's remove this and add the ones we need. Oops, sorry. And we're going to put here M, and the other one is going to be F, right? Great. So step by step we get in the shape, but it's still not how we want actually to look like. Great. After gender we have another label. It's gonna be called days of work. And as you see, that one goes out. That is because if we go to the main section, we need to enable the wrap, and we click there, and here it is, days of work. Okay, so the next days of work, we need to enter some checkboxes, but going this way, it's okay, but why we don't create a gallery, like a gallery that will keep the information of each actually day selected. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, the way I do it, I just go to the app and I said on start. I just go here and start creating it. So every time that the app will start, the collection will be created and show there for the user. So to create a collection, we just go to click collect, and we give it a name. I'm going to call it weekdays, and then we're going to start to build it. How we're going to do this, it's going to be this way, to start entering some information. Great, and let's get in. Oops, sorry, I need to click also shift to go in. Let me start typing name, and the name is going to be Monday, and the value for this is going to be is selected to false. Okay, great. Let's jump to the next one after, and I think it's better we just copy it, go this way, make some copies, not to write it down every time. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then name, here we put Tuesday, put Wednesday, Thursday, sorry, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this is done. We remove that and we close it. This now will create a collection called weekdays, and we'll have this information. Okay, great. Then what we're gonna do here, insert a gallery. So let's choose a gallery, and this is gonna be a horizontal one, a blank. It's okay in this case. Let's choose the data. It's our gallery, as you can see, and let's click on the pencil there, and let's choose checkbox. Okay, so the checkbox, it's not going to be option, but in this case, it's going to be this item dot name, right? As you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on will be inserted there. What is the next step? Let's position this to the top left, so it's somehow aligned with the label. And what we're going to do, we select the gallery, we just go here and type 50, and those shows there perfectly. If you see the scroll bar here, then you just have to go down and remove it, like you see. Click here and you remove it. Great. So right now we have aligned, but somehow it's not showing the other elements. How are we going to do that? First, the flexible width, we're just gonna stop it, turn it off, because we're gonna choose it ourselves. Okay, as you can see, actually the width is pretty big, but we're gonna take care of this later when we're gonna start using the dynamic width also for this gallery. Okay, let's jump to the next one, and the next one is another label. I'm gonna call this department, and we can just put it as a drop down, and we get this information there just to make it faster. And we can enter IT, and we can enter, I don't know, marketing, whatever. Choose one. Great. Okay, so let's enter another one. We're gonna call it phone number, maybe. Yeah, makes sense. And another input box, it's there, and then the last one, I think, and let's call it additional info, right? Additional info if it's needed. And we're gonna enter again the input box, and this is gonna be not a single line, but let's make it multi-line. Okay, and what we have to do else, we just increase the height, and let's make it 120. Okay, great. I think we're done now. Okay, it doesn't look like it's the best way to insert some data, right? So let's make it nicer. So the next thing to do is let's add another information here to this label, so we see the width of the screen. It's better for us to understand it. So let's put screen size, and let's put char. Sorry, we need to enter the ampersand here and say char 10. That's going to bring it to a new line, and let's connect again and say up width trace, and we connect it with parent dot width, right? So we should see also the other information. But you see, let's change also the height here of this, because I don't like that to be so small. Let's go to height. It's 40. Well, let's keep the parent, and now it's better. Okay, so we can see now that the width is 1365. Great. What we're gonna need it? Yes. Now let's see how to build this. The first thing is, let's understand all these elements. First, the label is 150. Yes, it's 150, and every label here is 150. So, and the width is 1366. We need to set it to make possible that the label and the input boxes stays there, another label in the input box, and all this information goes down. How we can do that? Well, by increasing the text input, we can also increase the text box, but the label, sorry, but it doesn't make sense to have so much space on a label. So better to go for text input. How are we going to do that? We just click on the text input. We just go to width, and this is hard coded. We just not going to need that. We're going to say okay. And to make it dynamic, the best thing to do is to go over, use the parent width. So whatever the parent width is, multiply it by, and here we're going to use a switch to understand what is the screen size active at the moment. So how we can do that? We're going to go app.active screen size dot size, right? Here it is. And I'm kind of used to numbers, so we can also write it like small, right, and so on, but I'm used to 1 to understand that this is small, and we give a value here. Let's put it 1 for the moment so we understand it. Let's go down 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. We are done. Maybe after 3 it's enough that we put 4, because it's a default, as you can see here, default result. Great. We close this, and what I've done here, okay, so we're gonna say to the width of the text input, if the parent width, take the parent width, in this case was 1366, and if the screen size is 1, then multiply by 1. It means that it's gonna be the same width of the parent. If it's 2, multiply by 2. If it's 3, multiply by 3. But these are not the correct values in this case. We just have to modify them, because then it's going to be really, really big. So look at the result right now. You see, the text input goes really, really big, because actually we need to fix this. Okay, so this is the 4th. It means that this is a default if it's bigger than 4, and here, as you see, the screen size is 4, and we have reached the breakdown, the latest one, the 4th one actually. What we're going to put here, we're going to say, let's put it 0.35. What does it mean? This is going to be the 35% of what the width of the parent is. So if the width is 1366, it's going to be 35% of that. What that means, let's go to the calculator and choose 1366 multiplied by 0.35, and it's going to be 478.1. Let's double check it. Let's click on the text input. Let's go over here. and the width is, as you see, 478.1. And you cannot, as you see, it shows fx because it's calculated by a formula. But what is the way why we do it this way? We do it this way because as soon as we change the screen, also the width will change, also the number here will change, and as soon as those changes, also the width of this is going to change, of this text input. And that means that it's going to somehow adapt to the screen that is seeing that. So let's go to the third screen. So if as soon as the screen becomes smaller, then we can also choose the 0.35, and on the 2 we put 0.7, and on the 1 we just put 0.85. What we're going to do, we're going to copy this. Let's use it for every input box we have here. And we go to width, select width, and put it there. As you see on the first line right now, we see two labels and two input boxes. Somehow those are fitted perfectly as it should, but still doesn't look very good, right? So let's click on the main section and let's add some gap, because it doesn't look very good. And the gap, what's going to do, it's going to add some gap between the elements, and you see now right now those looks better. Also between those, you see there is a gap. Great. So what else? Let's add also a padding. What does it mean? We're gonna add a padding on the top. Let's put it 20. It's enough. You see, it went away from the top of 20 pixel, but we can put also 30 and so on, make it a bit nicer. We can also put from the left, maybe 10, to make it nicer and a little bit centered. Great. Okay, so let's check this to the first row, just to see that everything works perfectly. Let's go to number 3. Okay. Number 2 looks okay. As you see, started showing some data perfectly. And on the first screen, when the app size is 1, you see that right now the data are fitted perfectly, and this is because of the formula applied. And it says when it's 1, then occupy the 85% of the width of the parent, and actually it is, and it's going to bring every input box in a proper row. So the first name is in his row, and the input box is also in his row. Great. Okay, so let's go back here. I don't want to see this again, damn it. Okay, great. What is next? Let's check what we have here. We see that the first line is okay. Let's jump to the second line. The gender is okay, but also this drop box is this drop down. It's very to be honest, very long for just an M and F, right? So it looks. So let's make it a bit smaller. Let's put it as a width for this one. Not a formula, but let's put it as a hard-coded one. Let's put 40. Maybe 40 is too small. Let's put 80. Yeah, look better to me, right? So it is just an M or F, and it doesn't make sense to have it like bigger that way. Great, and now that one is there, and it looks better. So what about the gallery here? The gallery is showing only 3 elements, but somehow it's not how it should look like. Okay, so let's select the gallery, and we go down. Let's see what properties the gallery has. Okay, so it has a rep count. Interesting. This is 1. What if we go to 2? We start seeing some information here. Also the other checkboxes are showing. but somehow here it's not the best way to see it. So, okay, let's leave it 1 for the moment. So I think let's fix first this. Let's go here inside and say, okay, what we can fix here. Let's make it smaller. Great. Let's check how we can fix this gallery and show all the elements. So let's check on the template size. Click on that and you see there is a formula there. How we can fix this? Well, I think we better put here hard-coded with a size, sorry. So 40, maybe it's too small. Let's put 80. It looks better to me, right? Great, now we have all the elements. Let's check it here. Looks better. Days of work, we can check all the elements. That's good. But what if we make it smaller? Look what happened. Is this what we want? Not sure. The label is there. Not the one we want, actually. No, completely broken. So how are we gonna fix this? Well, let's check. We have to do the same with the gallery to actually show the gallery that when the screen size changes, then also the elements should change. What does it mean? The wrap count should change. So right now the wrap is 1, but if the size changes, then it doesn't make sense to give it 1 because it's going to go outside the screen. So, and we need to make it 2, 3, and so on. How we can do that? Well, gallery has a property here called wrap count. It's 1 right now, hard-coded. Let's remove it. What we're going to use, let's use again the switch. It will say, okay, if the app.active screen dot size, and we're going to check that one. If it's 1, then make 3 columns. Then if it's 2, then make 7. And if it's 3, the large screen, keep it 7. Or maybe let's do it this way: 1, 3, and the others just keep it as 7. Let's test it. So we see. Right now it's showing an error here. Okay, maybe we have made a mistake here. Let's see where is the mistake. So when the active screen is 1, small screen, make 3. Otherwise, no, 7 doesn't make sense. Otherwise 1, right? Because we need to keep it in the same line, you see? Okay, let's make it smaller. Okay, looks better. And when we go here, you see that somehow it does the job, but yeah, it's not the way we would love to see it, right? So what else we can do? Then let's select again the gallery. Let's check the width of the gallery. Hard-coded, not the one we need. Let's remove it. And what is the next step? We go to parent, width again. Let's see how big is the parent. The big parent. Width, and let's check switch app.screen size, and if it's 1, then make it big as the screen size. So what I'm telling here is if it's mobile, then make it big, the width as big as the parent is. So if the parent is 300, then put it 300. If it's 400, 400, and so on. So let's go down here. We say if it's 2, keep it 0.7, and if it's 3, keep it 0.53, and otherwise just do it 0.63, and done. Okay, so let's test it. Let's play. Go here. Okay, great. We need to fix this. We cannot scroll down actually to see the other elements. How are we going to do that? Well, we just click on the main section and we go down here. We should have a scrollable possibility, vertical overflow. You say scroll, and let's see it again. Now we have the possibility to scroll. Okay, great. Looks better, right? Okay, so as you can see, there are still some things to check here, and also the gallery still not doesn't look like really good actually, to be honest. And it's missing a height here. So what we can do, let's go back. Let's say because it will not make sense if we wrap count, it's not going to increase also the height of the gallery. So how are we going to fix that? Well, we need also to use the formula there. Let's go again to the height, and it's 50 right now, but we don't want the 50 there. We want actually to be calculated depending on the screen size. How we can do that? Well, we just go again to switch, and what we're gonna choose is gonna be app dot active screen size, and we say if it's 1, then use 160. Then if it's 2, use the 50. If it's 300, sorry, 100, otherwise use 50, right? Okay, so you see this now because it is memorizing the first screen, but if we go to play, this should work now. If you go to small now, look what happened. We have all the space needed for the gallery, right? But days of work is still there. It's not down here. How are we gonna fix that? Well, I tried in a different way actually to fix it. Let me fix also this one first. Let's keep it this way and go back, and now should be okay. So how the trick I used here was to use a label and to make it visible only when it's needed. How to do that? Well, just click on the main section and you say insert a label, and you go down. There is a label, and let's move it to the start. It's going to be there, and step by step let's move it to the right. Let's go again, move it to the right, and move it to the right again. I'll show you why I'm doing this. Right, right, and right. This should be okay. Yes, great. Why I'm doing this? So as you can see, the drop down here has a 478. In this one, it's only 80. So what's going to happen with the rest of the space? Well, I thought I would actually fill that space with the empty label and make it visible only when the screens changes. What I mean with that, let me show you. So this is the label. Right now it's text. Just gonna take it off. Let's change the width of this label, and this is gonna be, let's make some calculations. So this one is 150 and this is 80. Okay, so 150 plus 80 is 230, right? Okay, so 230 minus 66, the app width. So we have like 1136 empty space here that we need to fill. So how big should the text box B to occupy this. So, but we need to use a formula there. How we can do that? Well, we just have to go to the label and we say width. It's gonna be parent width multiplied by 0.7.6. And what's that gonna do? Sorry, 0.7. And as you see, that one brings down the other label. Now this place here has been occupied by the text box. If we don't want to, then what we can do, just go to width, we say visible. Now it's true. But what if we change that and we say, okay, make this visible if I say app dot active screen dot size is equal to, make it true, otherwise make it false. What's gonna happen with this? This is just saying to the app that if the screen size is 2, so this 4 here becomes 2, then make it visible, otherwise make it false. Right now the label is not there, and that's why the gallery it went up. So if we go to a smaller screen now, to 2, sorry, we see that somehow still not working. It's not working because days of work is still there and should come down here. So it looks like the label it's set here and not there. So we need to fix the formula, the width, right? To understand how this works, we just have to take the calculator and let's say, okay, so let's delete this. We say 150 is the gender plus the drop down is 80 is 230. Okay, 230, and let's say the size of the screen in on when it's size number 2, it says 700. Let's do minus 700 is 470. So there is a gap. Actually, we don't have to forget the gap. So there is gap here, here, and between those. So let's remove other 70, and it's 400 should be. We need to identify what is the percentage to use to achieve a 400 width for this label. So how we can do that is, well, to achieve that we just have to go 400 multiplied by 100 divided by 700 and 57%. Okay, great. So what we're going to do, we just go to label 13, let's say 57. Let's see, size 2, and you see that now fits perfectly. When the screen size is 1, see we have first name, last name, gender, it's okay, but days of work is still there. Okay, maybe the label that we have made not visible on screen 1 to make it also visible in screen 2, screen 1, so it will actually bring days of work down here. How we can do that? Well, let's go to label 13, let's go visible, let's change this formula here. So what we're going to do is going to say switch up dot screen size active screen size, sorry, but I'm used to, and if it's 1 then it's false, right? If it's 2 it's false, otherwise make it true, right? Default value. That one should now work properly, at least should show the it's not showing. Why? Let's check why it's not showing that. Okay, so label 13, here it is. That, oh well, sorry, it has to be true, true, and false here, the opposite, right? Okay, so let's go back, and it's visible, but it's occupying the wrong place. We need to put it up here. So how we can do that? We need to increase the width of that label. So label 13, and let's go to the width. And this is just a dynamic formula, but it's not checking the screen size in this case. Okay, so let's remove this and say switch again. App active screen size, and if it's 1, then we need to put it a little bit smaller. Put 4. If it's 2, 0.57, right? Otherwise the width, sorry, 57, otherwise width, it's not going to be shown, so just we can leave it this way. You can change it, but it will not show. Okay, so gender is there, but days of work is still there. Well, the reason why we not see it is because we need to multiply this by parent dot width, right? We need to bring this down to make it work exactly, and we open parentheses, and that should work, right? Sorry, parent width multiplied, and this should work this way. Great. So right now we have 0, 5 when it's 1, otherwise put it 200. This actually it's not making any sense, because as soon as the screen will be more than 2, then it will not be visible. You can put it also 1000. Will not make any sense. Great. Let's go here and let's say now it's still big, so we need to bring it. How we can calculate that? Well, let's take the app with 499. Let's go back, make some calculation again. 200 multiplied by 100 divided by, what the heck, 499. Then we have a 40%, should be 0.4, right? Okay, so what we can do is go to label 3, and we say, okay, this guy is going to be 0.4, and let's go. Let's see. Looks good to me. So now the label is there. It's not visible to the user, but it's there, and that is bringing days of work down here. So as you see now, everything is there and it's working. Great. All the departments there, and the phone is there, and all this information. Great. Okay, so what we can do else here is to check the other screens to fix them, right? So on screen 1 works. Let's go to screen 2. Screen 2, these works there, but yeah, the label somehow it's missing here again. So the label is not visible. So let's check the visible property. Label 13, visible. When it's 2, it's true. Okay, pretty strange. Pretty strange actually. Okay, let's do something. Let's save it first. We have done so many things here. We need to save it. Let's give it a name. Responsive form tutorial. Not from, maybe form, right? Okay, save it. and that is saved. Perfect. Great. So what we're going to do, let's refresh it. Great. Let's go open, and here it is. So Power Apps tutorial, and we just open it. Great. What happened to this then? It looks very strange to me. Shouldn't be the complete header, right? So let's make the header not the width in this case, but it's going to be parent dot width, right? Otherwise, if we go to screen 1, we see that everything is aligned as it should. We go to screen 2, you see text input is also there, gender, and all the information, and we see that somehow here it's missing the Sunday. We're gonna fix that also. And also on the big screen it goes to the same way. Let's go to the screen size 3. It's also broken. We also need to check that one. But for the moment, let's check screen size 1 and 2. Okay? Screen size 1 is fixed. Maybe the gallery should show more items here, not like this. How to do that? Okay, so if we go to 1, then show. Sorry, makes sense. Let's put 2 in this case. I see the information is getting better this way. Okay, so screen size 1, it's already done. So let's go to the screen size 2, and we can see that some data here it's missing. So Saturday and Sunday is missing. So the best way to go here is to keep the data here in 2 rows. So to do that, we just have to go to the gallery, you select it, and you go to rep count property, and you add here another information. So when the size will be 2, then keep it in 2 rows. And if we're gonna check now, you'll see that we have 2 rows here, right? Now looks better. Everything is aligned. Perfect. That is all for part 1 of this video. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna cover in part 2 screen size 3 and screen size 4. So stay tuned and drop a comment below if there is another way to do this, to achieve this. I would definitely love to hear and exchange experiences. So yeah, that's all for today, and have a great day.